Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Going Out Looking In, the podcast about the big questions of life, personal growth, and spirituality. My name is Maxi, I'm your host, and today, guys, we are going out to look in. We are going back to the roots. It's just me and the microphone. It's just me and the outdoors. It's just me in a German traditional Strandkorb on the island of Sylt. And it's a maybe long overdue solo episode where I will be just sharing from the heart with you where I am at in life and what is currently alive, what I've learned over the course of the last 6 to 8 months since I basically was starting the podcast, and where I am right now, what happened in the past, and what kind of plans I have for the future. So this will be a very cozy, intimate, personal episode, and I am looking forward to that. The reason I decided to do a solo one again is very pragmatically because I haven't really scheduled any new interviews as of yet, and the ones that are lined up are a little bit more in the future. And so I also really wanted to dedicate myself even more to the podcast and deliver another episode. So that's one reason, but not the reason. A solo episode has been coming for a long time, and I know now it's the end of August as we are recording this, or I'm recording this, and I wanted to actually record one prior to that, like basically around half of the year, at the middle of the year, so in June. But it didn't feel right, and I had plenty of interviews scheduled, so yeah, it was just not the right time. Now it is. I still plan on doing a big recap of the whole year at the end of this year, but this one is now just a little catch up and a little status quo, like I said, where I'm at in life. And I'm here. I'm on this island right now, and I'm looking over the ocean, and yeah, this is basically already straight away what's happening. I'm getting wet eyes, and So this is basically this is how I try to live right now. This is how I try to live from now on, and this is something that I just take with me is, can I just be here now? Can I just look, and then feel? And the breath is just so powerful. Taking a good deep breath, or a couple ones, changes so much. Yeah, so we're right in. I wrote down a couple of bullet points here in my journal. Stuff that I wanted to talk about with you guys. And one of it says just feelings. And what do I mean by that? I mean by that for the last couple of years, I would say 3 to 4 years, quite intensely, and also prior to that, life has been for me about really understanding, and not even understand, just being able to somewhat live with the mind, with my mind. As a Westerner, born in Germany, raised here. Yeah, the conditioning that I have received is so incredibly cognitive, so heavy on thinking, so heavy on relying on my mind to keep me safe, to keep me comfortable, to help me deal with life, to help me live. And while that is all good and fine, it took 20 something years for me to even come to the realization of that might be an issue down the road in my personal development. And once it did, meditation basically came into my life as just like the tool, and the first tool, actually the first tool that I've tried, and the only one I've ever basically needed and used to get in somewhat of a to establish somewhat of a relationship with my mind. And I've been doing that, as you know, also from the podcast, extensively throughout the last couple of years. And it's been a beautiful journey. And I love meditation. I think it's one of the most powerful, simple, um, yeah, deepest and most profound tools that one can use to simply live a better life and just be happier and be more. It's not even about happiness, it's just about being more in harmony, to come into harmony with what is, because it is anyway. And so many of those things, when talking about meditation, I also realize that might sound, especially for people who haven't really meditated yet, might sound redundant or something, or very simple, or yeah, I don't know. And they are simple, but everyone who has sat down on a mat, or like on a cushion, or wherever you sit when you meditate, or maybe you lay down, I don't know, um, knows that it is just that. It is just observing. It is just being with what is, and through that, it's just an experience. It's just an experience that I just don't ever want to miss. And I also want to emphasize that it's not something, it's not a goodie. It's not a nice to have. It's, in my personal opinion, an absolute must have, an essential block of healing, of just arriving in the body, in arriving with where you are at in your life. It's so, yeah, it's just incredibly profound. And so, yeah, I actually didn't want to go on about meditation too much. It's just, yeah, a tool. I think one of the most, like I said, it's very simple and easy to do in terms of what you need for it. I don't say it's easy to do per se in terms of like actually doing it. Mm. And it's also one of those things, if you're really honest with yourself, like once you sit down and like observe how you feel when you get up, if you basically take this feeling and put it in a time capsule, just remember how you felt after meditating, and let that be the motivation for future sessions. And we all know that, discipline eats motivation for breakfast. I know that. And I'm also sometimes not motivated to meditate. And sometimes I also don't do it. But I really, had enough experiences with it, to just say that, or know and feel within really like a deep part of myself, it's good, Maxi. This makes you a better man. This makes you a better person every day you walk out of the door, because you took care of your inner environment before interacting with other people, before doing basically anything. because you check in with yourself. You just also, for the first time, or maybe the only time in the day, you actually ask yourself and investigate how you are feeling. And when are we doing that throughout the day? When are we actually curiously, with intention, ask ourselves how we are doing? And this is what you're doing with meditation, without even asking the question, because once you sit down and it gets quiet, you will surely feel and hear from the mind what's alive and how you are actually feeling. And so, yeah, and it's an antidote to all social media and all kind of technical stuff out there and all the screens that we are using. And so it's just an important and good technique. That's what I wanted to basically get across. And now moving on to the relationship that I built with the mind, to, I think the relationship I have right now with the mind through meditation is a loving one, is a one that I feel very comfortable with. I am able to really in everyday life witness the thoughts, witness what my mind has to say, what my ego has to say, and I sometimes get lost in it, for sure. Yes, for sure. But the cadence is shorter. The periods in which I'm completely lost in thought and lost in whatever my mind is basically deciding to talk about, and to most of the time basically nag me with, and just constantly also talk down on me. All of these things, they get less, and the periods get shorter, and I'm able to basically pull myself out of those kind of periods more easily, and ask myself, like my real self, like the actual self, like me deep inside, who is listening to the voice, what I really want to be doing. And this is basically, that's a nice actually transition, a nice segue into like another thing that I wrote down. So I wrote down, life is your guru. Okay, what I mean by that is that as some of you maybe know, some of you don't, I don't know. So the stage I'm in right now, in this really sort of skin shedding metamorphosis kind of stage, where I am turning 30 next year, and I feel this is an immensely, it's the most significant year of my life, for sure, in terms of my personal awakening. And I think like this is happening all the time, right? I mean, every year basically, as you go on, is the most significant one. Every moment, because you haven't experienced it yet, and you are richer because you had the experiences you had, and so the full version of you is experiencing every moment that's arising right now, right here and then. And so this, the situation with the relationship with Julia has led me here, and so much of my life then took shape and form, and I know that I am right where I need to be, exactly where I need to be, that I feel exactly what I need to feel, and that I'm actually also doing what I need to be doing for just to heal and to heal, expand, grieve, be with myself. So that's currently the status quo. And when I say life's your guru, where I'm at right now, I'm on this beautiful island called Sylt, which has been basically acting as a refuge for me, and as a refuge for me and my inner state for many years, actually. I was spending so much time here when I was a child, and I started to come here when I was an adult myself and becoming a teenager. I remember being driving up here when I was just turning 18 or 19. Oh no, I think it was when I was 20, 21 maybe. I just took my little Fiat 500 and Cinquecento, and I drove it all the way from Stuttgart to here, and just solo. And I just spent a week here, just completely contemplating where I was at. And back then it was just the mind. I was just in the mind. But those were significant experiences for me at the time, and so yeah, it just has a very specific energy, the place here. It's just unbelievably beautiful, but there's an energy here that is radiating something. It's attracting me. It's attracting so many other people from all around the world visiting here. The beaches are just so beautiful, and the North Sea is wild, and it's rough, and it's untamed, and it's a mirror of life and where you're at. And I had profound experiences just here, a couple of meters down here. There's where the waves are crashing down, and where I'm just like entering the sea, becoming one with it, when the sun is going down after work. So beautiful. It's so beautiful. Entering the water and just feeling the cold, just this mother nature, just like, yeah, it just wraps around your body, and first your legs, and then you go in with the upper body, and then just the water's flowing past you, and you're looking at the downgoing sun, and then birds are coming, and wind, and the sky is just opening up, and you are just, there is no beginning, no end to the physical body of yours, of mine. There's just, you're just one for a moment. Yeah, and those are beautiful experiences. And this is what the island does for me. Strolling here on the evenings at the beach, seeing the sun go down, it's unbelievable. It's so beautiful. Yeah. So life's your guru. Long-winded way of basically coming to or reaching any conclusion, but the work that I'm doing here, helping out in the ice creamery, it's one of the biggest spiritual things I've ever did in my life. And it's not the job per se. It's also obviously where I am at in my development, but it is, for me right now, in that combination of where I'm at with what I'm doing, so incredibly powerful, because I am serving hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people every single day, and I'm looking them in the eye, and I'm seeing myself. We are all just mirroring each other, and I'm able to witness what I'm getting triggered by, what men are going through, what families are going through, what old people are going through, what is moving people, what they're excited about, what they're afraid of. You can see it. You can see it in their eyes. You can see it in small little actions. You can see how they carry themselves, how they dress themselves, how they behave, how they talk. And so being in contact with as many as people as I do right now, and also ice cream in general, it's just it sounds funny, but it makes people go back into their childhood, no matter how old they are. And to witness that moment when they're standing in front of the ice creams, like the selection of ice creams we have, and just asking them, if they want, if they want to have a cone, or if they want it in a little bowl, and how many scoops they want, and if they would like some crumble on top or some sauce. It just makes an 80, 90-year-old man just go back to his childhood. It's beautiful to witness, honestly. It's also beautiful to witness people who don't feel anything anymore. They're so numb. And why I'm saying it's beautiful, because it's just another experience, and just where that person's at. And so it's incredibly enriching to just like consume and take in this information, and those energies of people. And obviously, I am just seeing what I can see based on where I'm at, like I said, and I, with where I'm at as a man, I'm asking myself what kind of man I want to be. And what I'm seeing is just sometimes very few, but there are men out there, beautiful men, who take care of themselves, who take care of their family, who lead, who show up as a role model, who really care. And if it's just a handful, since I'm here, it's beautiful. And you can, it's within the first millisecond of them entering the store where you can tell that's a man. That's a man. Somebody I look up to. Somebody I look forward to be myself. And somebody who knows where he's going. Somebody who's sure of his values, his boundaries, who knows his woman, who loves her deeply, sees her, respects her. And all the same goes for women. There's so beautiful women out there, so beautiful women, such strong women, with conviction, with dignity, with power, with unbelievable amounts of empathy and love to give and share with the world, and especially obviously with when they have children, with their children. I mean, for me, that's the most, like, as a man, it's just like the most moving thing to see a mother with, like, a loving mother and her child. That motherly love and that care, it's so beautiful. And it makes me want to have a family, makes me want to have kids. So yeah, so that's that. Life's your guru, karma yoga, as we discussed with Deep. So karma yoga, I feel like I'm more than ever in service. People need me every single day. They really need me. They really appreciate me, what I'm doing for them. Let it be my boss, but also let it be the customers. Not all of them, but the most of them are happy and grateful for me to serve them ice cream or make coffee for them, or whatever I'm doing there. Just make them smile. Just a smile. And so when you break any sort of service or like job down to its root, I think the feeling I have right now of being in service as much as I am right now is so much more fulfilling than many jobs I did previously in the past, where I was paid way more, but where I was needed way less. I was not in service as much as I am right now. I am really in service right now. And this is fulfilling at the end of the day, no matter how much money is in the bank account or stands on your paycheck. And obviously, if both comes in harmony, that's perfect. That's awesome. I'm not there yet. But I mean, what does mean I'm not there yet? You see, that's the mind coming in again. I am where I am right now. And I'm serving ice cream and I'm in service every single day. And I'm happy to go to work. And I feel like I'm making a difference. And I see it directly in front of me in 3D rendering, manifesting right there. Bam. And I go home and I record those podcasts. That's a very good segue in the next topic, and that is intention. So what's the intention? And intention has been coming up for me so much recently. So I wrote down intention of life, every action, the podcast, my work. So asking yourself what your intention is can be, in my experience, the road to victory in terms of your personal victory, to your own truth. What I mean by that is asking what your intention is, especially so where it's really simple and quite practical, is with relationships. What's your intention entering a relationship? And if you're really honest about it, you can learn a lot about yourself and about your shadows and about your insecurities and about the things about the shadow, right? The things that we hide, repress, and deny, because the relationships that we are having, they bring it up right to the surface like that. And so the relationships I'm entering right now, in the stage where I'm in, interpersonal relationships of any sort, are such a good mirror, and they help me so much to reflect on what is my intention. Maximilian, what is your fucking intention? Listen. What is your intention? And if I'm really honest with myself, it helps me navigate relationships with more honesty, truthfulness. Yes. Yeah, so much. Because when I know why am I entering this relationship, and I can be really honest with myself, then I can learn to say, I cannot do this right now. For example, I'm not ready, or I don't resonate with you anymore. And that's the meta message. How you basically get a message like this across, if it's basically an old friend or something like that. What's your intention with this relationship? Where do you want to take this? Why are you entering? Why are you in it in the first place, if it's an existing relationship? It's so powerful to ask yourself that question. And the intention, and I'm asking myself, what is the intention behind me sitting here doing the podcast? I'm asking myself that. What drives me to drive here with my bike, get my tripod, which actually didn't work. So now my phone is standing on another Strandkorb, which I basically dragged through the sand right there. So that's standing there where the camera is. What leads me, what drives me, what's my intention with driving here, coming here, setting all of this up, thinking about what am I going to say, and sharing now from the heart, sitting hours in post-production. What is my intention with this project? And when I'm answering those kind of questions, I take a deep breath. And I really try to feel what is coming up. I ask myself the question, what's the intention of the podcast? And now it's building a road from the heart to the mind, because you have to articulate it. You have to write it down sometimes. You have to put it into action. And so it helps to use the mind. but it's coming from the heart by feeling. So when I'm thinking, I'm not able to access the depth. When I'm feeling when I'm feeling podcast. So I'm asking myself, what's the intention with the podcast? The feeling I get is love, is a tingling in my fingertips. It's dopamine. It's serotonin, maybe. I don't know. It's excitement rising up in my body, power in the belly rising up. And this is stuff that I can feel. I can feel. It's tangible. I can feel it in my body. And when I'm then asking the mind, hey, base, what are you feeling? How can you articulate that? So then basically it leads to what I just said. And it then basically becomes this more tangible thing. Then I can hold on to it. I can grab it and I can try to put it into words for you also right now. And it's very, very much in alignment, in harmony, because it is a direct expression of myself. And that could obviously go for many things that you are actually doing. And so my intention with the podcast, as of now, just right now feeling it, is expressing myself through, especially when I'm speaking to people, through conversations where I'm expressing myself. Yes, I am. But I'm expressing myself through and with and through my guests. Because they express themselves, right? And because there's no you and I, no separation, the podcast helps me to express myself, my guest, and therefore all of us. And who hears, hears. Who sees, sees, right? Who listens, listens. Yeah, so... Oof, wow, that was wild. Yeah, so intention. It's very powerful to ask yourself intention, and it helps to be honest about it with yourself and don't lie about it, and just be honest with yourself, and it leads you to... It's sometimes also painful because it will show that the intention of some things you're doing are not very pure. They're just helping you cope with something. They're distracting you. The intention is distraction. If you're using a substance, even if it's coffee, I'm asking myself all the time, every single morning, why do I have to drink 2 coffees now? What's my intention with picking up that cup? What's my intention of sitting down to meditate? Is it to achieve something? Yeah. Okay. Intention. Powerful stuff. We are all longing for connection. Yeah, I also wanted to talk about that briefly. That is because my heart is so unbelievably full with gratitude and with love and with blessings for the people that I have met over the course of the last couple of weeks since I'm on this island. It's ridiculous. The encounters I have here and that I made here, that took place here, the connections and the relationships that I was able to establish, it is so beautiful and significant for me. And it's the universe so crystal clear showing me again and again and again what this life is all about and how I can relate to it. That life is actually my best friend. And it's taking care of me. She's taking care of me. Her flow of life. Oh, her flow is... Oh. The relationships, the opportunities, the openness, the honesty, the love I'm receiving. It's just the universe really showing me and telling me, Maxi, trust. It's okay. Trust. It's okay. It's really that. When will you understand? When will you feel it? Yeah, when will you feel it? Because there's so many insecurities, guys. I'm telling you, with the podcast, where my whole life is heading, I have absolutely no idea. After my trip to the US and the UK and Ireland, I have no idea when I'm coming back, what I'm going to be doing. I have like a rough idea and ideas in general and inspirations, but I don't have a plan. And the lack of trust in life and that she's going to take care of me is making me suffer. That's making us suffer, I guess. Whereas if I was to look at and really feel what is actually alive right now, which is a result of me just living life because we don't have any choice, right? I can be filled with love, which I am. And so suffering basically just arises as soon and in the very moment where I'm out of being present, where I'm not present with what is anymore. Because if you're really present with what is, even if it's pain, and let me tell you, I'm so often present with pain recently. You guys know, like, I'm grieving still. My heart is grieving, and so there's a lot of pain, but there's beauty in pain. There's beauty in pain. And that's actually also something I wrote down, holding space for myself. That's where I'm at. I'm holding space for myself every single day when sitting down to meditate. Because when I'm sitting down to meditate and when I'm being present with what is, shit's gonna hit the fan, and it's coming up. Oh boy, it's coming up. And can I just sit there and witness and feel and cry and be with the pain? And honestly, I don't know, I'm really trying my best to put it into words, but it is beautiful. And I'm looking, I don't know, it sounds like masochistic or like sadistic or something, but like I'm really looking forward to sometimes feel the pain because it's helping me purify, right? It's helping me to heal. And a good cry is awesome. It's awesome. It's being human. Yeah, and that's also a new realization where I'm at right now. It's really this sort of being triggered at work as well. You know, like I said, by people who basically just mirror where I'm at. Why am I triggered, you know? Why is this person triggering me? Well, because I have an issue. And so when I'm asking myself that, like, I can tune in to what's alive within me, and I can feel the pain. And it's beautiful because this range of being human is so big. The spectrum is so big. And it includes being triggered. It includes Yeah, just like being upset and being angry sometimes and all of that. It's just being human and the whole scope of human emotion, right? What you then do with that, obviously, that's a whole different cup of tea. But first of all, experiencing it, yeah, that's where the rubber hits the road. Beautiful. Yeah, so I guess I'm just really in love with life and everything that she's basically offering and teaching me right now, what's present right now. And and it's hard, and it's like the waves crashing down right here in front of me. The days where I feel light, and there are days where I feel more heavy, and that's okay. All right, it's getting actually quite dark now, and my feet are also getting actually really cold. So I'm just gonna check my notes. Um, yeah, I covered a lot already of those things that are alive within me. Guess last but not least is responsibility. We talked about it many times on the podcast. It's just so liberating to take responsibility. Um, it immediately, the moment you take responsibility for anything, even if it's as tiny as, oh, the bin is full, I take it out. Um, it empowers you. It empowers you so much. And it's making you a better version of yourself right then and there. And it's your only job. It's your only job. It's our only job right now, right here in our personal development. Being present and taking responsibility for what is present. It will free you so much. It'll make you independent from people, from places and circumstances. You have to look at yourself for sure. You have to deal with the ego. Yes, 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 yes. All of those things. But at the end of this road, there's freedom. There's love. And so taking responsibility for my shortcomings, oh boy. Yeah, and there are a lot of insecurities with me and stuff that's coming up. But I think really the difference to my previous self is I'm taking full ownership of these things. Which again, I cannot do perfectly. I'm not there yet. I'm so far from perfect. But it is my intention. It is my intention because I heard it enough times of people telling me, people I really respect and admire, also in this podcast, that responsibility is your ticket to freedom. It's your ticket to happiness. It's your ticket to being in harmony with what is, which we are, which we talked about in the beginning. So, taking responsibility for treating your partner in a way that wasn't right. Taking responsibility for treating your parents a certain way, not meeting them where they're at, for judging them, taking responsibility for not taking responsibility early in your life, taking responsibility for you lying to yourself, taking responsibility for snoozing, looking too much on your phone, will make you a better version of yourself the second you are taking that responsibility. Yeah, so that was also something that was really present, and it's helping me big time to say, hey, yes, you're standing in that ice cream shop because it is the culmination of all of the life decisions that you made, Maxi. Did you decided to not pursue a corporate career anymore? Did you not decided to pursue and push forward your career with your own marketing agency? Take responsibility for that. And can you be 29 and see other 25-year-olds driving there with a big BMW and a big Rolex rolling up there and ordering coffees and ice cream and paying for the whole family and stuff? Can you take responsibility for that and not compare yourself? and not think that they made everything right and you did everything wrong. Can you take responsibility for that? And those are thoughts of the ego. Those are things that are coming up. For sure. For sure. For sure. For sure. For sure. Taking responsibility. This me sitting here right now talking like this is a result of all the decisions that I have made so far in my life. And yes, I'm proud of it. I'm proud of it, and I'm in harmony with that. And I'm committed to further liberate myself from myself. Yeah, so that's Alive Within, guys. I feel like this is quite a good time capsule moment. It's getting really, really dark now. I really gotta get going and drive home with my bike. But I love you. I love you. And so far what the podcast has basically introduced to my life, the relationships, the connections, just the energy on a meta level that entered my life and still does so every day and with every episode, and some with messages that I receive and physical manifestations of new opportunities and whatnot. So significant to me. I would have never even dreamt of this when I started going out with my little microphone in December last year. And I am so unbelievably grateful for every single listener, wherever you are in this world. This is me now reaching out to you. I love you so much. And I'm going to continue. And I hope you do too. So, with that being said, I will include a interactive Q&A thing, especially in Spotify, where you can engage with me, also on YouTube. Please let me know. This is my ask. Please let me know, who do you want me to interview in the future? What would you like to hear on the podcast? I will frame the question in that way on Spotify, and then you can just like straight away in that episode reply to it. And yeah, I would love to hear from you. Who do you want me to interview? Especially during my time in the US and the UK and in Ireland. I can do in-person interviews. I'm ready and willing and able to go anywhere. So please hit me up with inspirations and what you want to hear in the future in the podcast. Let's make this a co-creation, okay? Not a one-way street. This is a two-way street. This is a common thing. You know, we're doing this together. So, yeah. Much love to you from my heart to yours. And I see you in the next episode. Till then, goodbye. Bye-bye. Much love.